Let's make some really simple chocolate covered strawberry macarons. I'm going to start off with my basic French meringue macaron shell here. The only thing that I am doing different from my basic recipe is adding in some really vibrant pink food coloring. I am using Sugar Rose. It's a really vibrant pink. Otherwise, you can use any pink or red even that you want. With powdered food colorants, I usually like to add that into my meringue right away. Otherwise, this process is just like normal. I'm whipping up my egg white, streaming in my sugar and cream of tartar. Then once I get that really nice stiff peak, I'm going to transfer this out of my bowl, fold in all of my dry ingredients, and get to piping. Now, the goal I had in mind was for this shell to have a really nice light strawberry sort of color. The macaron itself, all of the filling is going to be where the strawberry flavor comes from, just like a traditional chocolate covered strawberry. The chocolate is only on the very outside dip that we will add at the very end. If you wanted to create a strawberry shaped shell, you can absolutely do that for even further kind of creative design and a realistic sort of macaron here. Otherwise, if you want to create a chocolate shell, if you want to add some cocoa into your shell, and if you want to skip dipping the macarons, or if you want to have 2 layers of cocoa, that's absolutely okay too. Whatever chocolate covered strawberry macaron means to you, you can go in a lot of different really fun and delicious directions. However, I want to stick to pink shells, strawberry filling, and chocolate only on the very outside. I'm going to bake these. Again, every oven is a little bit different, but I usually like to bake them for about 17 to 20 minutes around 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Then as those shells cool, I'm going to work on my strawberry buttercream. This is a pastry cream based buttercream, so I've got some strawberry puree, egg yolks, sugar, butter. I've got some powdered freeze-dried strawberry as well, and a little bit of cream. So just like making a pastry cream, the sugar and egg yolks are going into a bowl. Then my liquids, the strawberry puree and cream, are going into a small saucepan. Now I am using that same pink food colorant I used for my macaron shells in here because, especially with the addition of the egg yolks and then the butter, the color from the strawberry puree will all but disappear in the process of making this buttercream. So if you do want a pink buttercream, make sure to add a touch of food coloring. Now I've got my cream and strawberry puree on my stove on just kind of a medium-low heat there. Then I'm whisking together my sugar and egg yolks, pouring over some of that hot cream mixture, and then I am just going to temper everything back into my saucepan. Although it would probably be okay to just mix everything together right away, it is always safest when you are using egg yolks to temper the hot liquid into them before just dumping them in. Otherwise, you risk curdling the egg yolks, which is pretty gross in a pastry recipe. Now I've got the heat turned to low or medium low at the very highest, and I'm going to stand here and whisk this continuously until it thickens up and just barely begins bubbling, again, just like any other pastry cream recipe. As you can see right here, it looks basically like a pink cream. It's quite liquid, but as this warms, as those egg yolks begin working, they will thicken this cream mixture and it will become a really, really custardy, thick texture. You will also be able to see visually that it is done not only from the thickness, it will darken in color and become quite glossy and shiny. It will be very nice to look at. Then I'm going to take it off the heat and let it cool down before I continue. All right, as you can see, the color has deepened. It's really nice and thick. It looks really shiny. I'm pouring this into a new container. I'm going to cool that down to below 30 degrees Celsius or about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. You can use an ice bath. Today I'm just using my refrigerator. Depending on how fast you want to go, you might want to have a really thin layer of that cream to help it cool down really quickly. When it is cool, dump all of your butter, room temperature unsalted, of course, into the bowl of your mixer. Now, whenever you are supposed to whip your butter, make sure you really let it go for several minutes. You will see the color and texture change. Once the butter basically looks like it is buttercream in and of itself, stop the mixer, scrape down the sides of your bowl. Now we can finally start adding in that cooled strawberry pastry cream mixture into the butter to create our strawberry buttercream. I really like to add in my pastry cream mixture in about 3 additions. I think this helps the buttercream really incorporate nicely, but if you dumped all of that strawberry mixture in right away, it would not be the end of the world. It would be okay. It would still work out. It might just take a little bit more mixing to get everything to thoroughly combine. So after I add in a little bit, mix, add in a little bit, mix again, I'm finally going to add in at the very end my freeze-dried strawberries. Now, the reason I really recommend you wait till the end to add this in is because I really like to taste test my buttercream first, and I recommend you do the same. Then you can adjust just how much of the strawberry powder you personally want to add to get as subtle or as intense of a strawberry flavor as you want. Then you can switch over to the paddle attachment to mix on low for a few minutes to get a really smooth, creamy buttercream. It's finally time to fill the macarons, and I am using a store-bought strawberry jam today. You, of course, can make your own. Otherwise, this is a great time to either work with a jam you love, work with what is affordable, or work with a local product you want to highlight. For me, it really just depends on how much work I want to put into a given macaron and how much time I have. So since I only needed the strawberry jam for this one recipe, I decided to go store-bought for today. I am piping 1 big ring around the outside of my macaron shells. For piping a buttercream ring, I usually use an 803 or 804 Ateco piping tip. Then I'm going in with my jam and just piping it straight into the center of that buttercream ring. After I get all of the jam in there, I am going to sandwich these macarons together and get them into the refrigerator only for a little bit. If you are creating chocolate covered strawberry macarons like me and you want to dip these in chocolate, get them into your refrigerator in one nice single layer for between, I would say, 30 minutes up to a couple of hours before you dip the shells. You want the buttercream to solidify a little bit so they will be a lot easier to work with. But if you wait too long, these macarons will start maturing and they will be harder to work with once they are softer. For the chocolate dip, I am just using dark chocolate. You can use whatever dark chocolate you love. Then I have about 3% the weight in a neutral oil. I am using a grapeseed oil. So I'm just going to first melt that dark chocolate, then add in the oil and mix really well to combine. If your chocolate is quite hot, you might want to wait a few minutes. Otherwise, as soon as the oil and chocolate are mixed together, you can dive right into dipping your macarons. Now, there are a lot of different styles for dipping or drizzling your macarons, especially when it comes to something like a chocolate covered strawberry. You can imagine in your mind there are some different ways. How much of the strawberry are you dipping? Is it completely enveloped? So if you want to, one style I really like is to dip just the top shell, either just the very top or going down onto the feet as well, allowing the chocolate to drizzle down. Otherwise, you can grab the macaron from the kind of top and bottom and dip just the side. When I dip the side, I usually like to go about 1/3 of the way down. Otherwise, you can go half of the way down if you want. I am just going to stick with these two styles today. Otherwise, if you want to completely cover the macaron, entirely dunk it in chocolate like it's a chocolate truffle or something, you absolutely can do that. Or you can put the chocolate into a piping bag and drizzle it over the top of the macarons in whatever pattern you want. If you want to add anything to the top, you can while the chocolate is still wet. I have some additional powdered freeze-dried strawberry here that I'm adding onto the top. If you want to add something like edible glitter or luster dust or gold leaf or sprinkles, anything you want could be added on top of these macarons. Again, I think chocolate covered strawberries are a really great time to kind of go all out with the extra details, especially since chocolate covered strawberries, the actual versions, tend to be something that is quite romantic and sweet and meant for gift giving. Obviously, you can make chocolate covered strawberries for yourself, but it's usually something that you would gift to or share with another person. So I think it's a really great time to add something just a little bit extra and special. I really love these macarons, and because I love keeping it a little bit similar to the original treat, having just the layer of chocolate on the very outside is what I prefer. Again, if you want to layer a bit more chocolate in here and skew this a bit more chocolatey, you absolutely can. Otherwise, to me, these are absolutely perfect. As a special treat, I actually have this entire recipe as its own mini ebook. You can download that, go into the description box to find it. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you love this tutorial and the little mini ebook. And thank you so much for being here on my YouTube channel. I hope to see you again in another upcoming video. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!